Well, here's a timely interview, right, folks? Gold is up over 50% this year. That's right, not speculation. That's reality. And my next guest says, if a portion of your savings isn't diversified into gold, well, you're missing the boat. Here to give us insight is Birch Gold Group precious metal specialist Philip Patrick. Welcome back, Philip. And I'm just going to jump right over here on my stock market page because I watched everything melting down today. And you know what didn't melt down? Gold. Gold actually melted up. My friend, we've been talking about this a long time. In times of uncertainty, and when the stock market goes from 300 higher to 900 lower, I would call that uncertainty. Gold, people say all the time, is it too late to buy? Philip.
The answer is absolutely not. First and foremost, Goldman Sachs just came out. They have upped, I think it was on Monday or Tuesday of this week, raised their prediction now for the yellow metal. Gold will hit, they believe, $4,900 by this time next year. What we're seeing now is not an emotional run on gold. We're seeing something very different. This isn't panic buying. This is a structural shift. For the first time in decades, mainstream money managers, pension funds, institutions, endowments, they're acknowledging that paper promises do not hedge financial risk, and they're moving heavily into gold, both investment banks, central banks, and the pace is increasing, not letting up. So I think prices will continue to surge. And I think this is not a rally, but a repricing of reality. I think gold has been undervalued for a long time. Now government debt is not being viewed as the safe haven it once was. We're seeing an adjustment back to gold.
That's fascinating. And this was a good test. When a market, so April 2nd, when Trump announced the initial tariffs, there was a big washout. Everything kind of worked its way back, and gold never really lost ground. It kept going higher. This today was a very good test because a lot of people were saying that cryptocurrency could be the other hedge against negative geopolitical forces or a melting down stock market. Crypto got crushed today, Phil. Gold was the only shining light across the only thing green on my screen is gold.
Yeah, look, the thing about gold is it's 5,000 years of history. So we understand very well how gold performs in relation to the dollar, in relation to inflation and financial markets. I agree with you. I think crypto will pick up a lot from de-dollarization because I think people are looking for stores of wealth outside of the dollar. So I think it'll pick up. But what it doesn't have is that safe haven property, that inverse relationship with currency. So it's moving a little independently. For people who know the problems, gold is a solution.
You want a tough question? Want me to throw you a tough one from a trader, from a Wall Street guy a long time? Right, here's a question, okay? I want to get into metals. I think metals I need to diversify. My options are gold, silver, maybe even platinum. But my real options are gold and silver. Gold is $44,023 an ounce. Silver is $47 an ounce. And so some people would say, well, let me jump into silver because it's cheaper. But where do you see a better return on your investment? So you would just buy more silver or less gold with the same amount of investment, gold or silver?
It's a tough question. It's a good question. They're both being driven by different things. I think silver is the more undervalued of the two. Post 70s, they trade at a 55 to 1 average, gold being 55 times silver's price. Even with the shoot up in silver, we're running at 82 to 1 today. So I think silver has a little more legs longer term, but gold is very important. I think longer term, we're going to be dealing with a consistently weakening dollar. Gold is going to be that safety net, but silver's the growth play. Cheap, rising demand, AI chips need it, solar technology, electric cars. Silver's that longer term growth play. Don't sleep on silver.
Very quick, dumb question for you. Again, trader in me. Does Birch Gold, do you do anything in copper? Because all I'm hearing now is copper. Copper is the one that's going to really go. Anything Birch?
Copper's an interesting one. It's really for paper markets. We at Birch specialize in physical. Copper's problematic to store physically. Right. So we tend to deal with the physical right. Tangible.
You don't want those big spools of copper in warehouses at the Birch Gold, in the back parking lot of Birch Gold. I guess I got that. I got to jump, Philip. Always good, and congratulations on yet another massive move up in the gold price. Philip Patrick, everybody, Birch Gold Group. All righty, Democrats really don't like it when one of their own is caught committing an actual crime. In fact, the party that loves to love criminals thinks it's perfectly normal, A-OK, to let them just roam the streets to keep breaking the law. Before she was indicted for committing her very own actual crime, bank fraud, to be specific, she once carried cared very much about holding people to account for committing crimes. Lawfare Letitia, we're talking about, once felt strongly about people cheating to get better loans and said that everybody and everyday Americans cannot lie to a bank to get a mortgage. Remember, she said that? Something she apparently was doing herself at the same time. And of course, Letitia, we agree that there can't be different rules for different folks, right? Which is why this reaction to her own indictment strikes me as another check in the hypocrisy column. Am I right?
This is nothing more than a continuation of the president's desperate weaponization of our justice system. He is forcing federal law enforcement agencies to do his bidding, all because I did my job as the New York State Attorney General. These charges are baseless, and the president's own public statements make clear that his only goal is political retribution at any cost.
Are you kidding me? You ran to become the Attorney General of the state of New York saying, I will get Donald Trump. That's what you ran on. And you tried and you failed and you were breaking the law at the same time. These people cannot help themselves, can they? As expected, Dollar Store Obama came out and promised to answer this indictment with even more lawfare against Republicans once Democrats get back in power, he says, which likely may not happen as long as the president deports all the illegals that they were counting on to become leadership.
There are so many different corrupt sycophants within the Trump administration, including but not limited to within the Department of Justice. Now, these people don't have immunity. And the reality is the statute of limitations is 5 years, and there will be accountability with the next administration, if not before, when Democrats take back control of the House of Representatives.
Well, you're itching for it, Hakeem. You are asking for it. If you say that as soon as you guys take power, as soon as you get the House back, you're going to start going after Republicans, you got three years plus to deal with Trump. One way to react is with threats, of course, but always and apparently another way the Democrat machine is reaching, I should say reacting, I guess, is by having the media they own come out and make the crime to be some sort of no big deal at all. Nothing to see here, folks. So is CNN trying to say that everyone should go out and commit mortgage fraud to help Letitia just look maybe a little, I don't know, normal?
Aside for a second, what Tish James, and again, we're still getting the details, but if it's related to this mortgage issue, I mean, this is something that everyone in America, or many people at least, if you're lucky enough to be able to buy a house in America, you deal with this, right? The federal government doesn't go after all of these people for doing this.
So they did everything in their power to call mortgage fraud, what Trump did or allegedly did as mortgage fraud, and to get him either bankrupted or thrown behind bars. Everything in their power. They changed laws. They try to make misdemeanors into felonies. And now when it's one of theirs, nothing to see here, folks. Everyone kind of does it. They are such hypocrites. Shockingly, Casey Hunt's colleague, Anderson Cooper, decided to point out the obvious truth, which is that, as we all have known and have heard her say countless times, Letitia James was a woman on a mission to get Donald Trump. Her lawfare wasn't just driven by a manic, obsessed party that supported her. This was personal, and she made sure everyone knew it.
The system is not supposed to work.
Jeff, I mean, according to PolitiFact, the day after she was elected in 2018, Letitia James was asked by a community activist if she was going to sue President Trump. And she replied, quote, "Oh, we're going to definitely sue him. We're going to be a real pain in the ass. He's going to know my name personally." I mean, that's not a great look for somebody who has just been elected or just been campaigning, who hasn't even looked, I guess, at deeply at any evidence.
Well, that's, we live in a system where attorneys general and district attorneys in the United States, unlike almost any other country, are elected officials, are politicians. So they run for office making political statements. That's how our system works. It's not pretty. I don't think it's a great system, but there's nothing uncommon about it.
There you go. There you go. One more. How about this one? We told you earlier this week about the drama surrounding Democrat candidate Jay Jones, who's running for Attorney General in Virginia. In a debate between the two candidates for governor of Virginia, Democrat Abigail Spanberger and Republican Winsome Sears, the moderator tried and tried again to get Spanberger to answer whether or not she will still endorse Jay Jones, who sent a colleague text message about putting bullets in the head of an opponent. Well, here's Spanberger.
Ms. Spanberger, I understand what you're saying about the voters, but for you yourself, do you still continue to endorse Jay Jones? 15 seconds, yes or no?
We are all running our individual races. I believe my opponent has said that about her lieutenant governor nominee.
Ms. Earl Sayers,
and it's up to every person to make their own decision. I am running my race to serve Virginia, and that is what I intend to do.
Thank you, Ms. Spanberger. We just want to clarify, what you're saying is that as of now, you still endorse Jay Jones as Attorney General.
I'm saying as of now, it's up to every voter to make their own individual decision. I am running for governor. I am accountable for the words that I say, for the acts that I take, for the policies that I have put out.
Thank you.
I am responsible for the policies I put out and the work I will endeavor to do tirelessly for the people of Virginia.
Thank you, Ms. Spanberger.
So she couldn't say it because she's already said she's not endorsing her Democrat friend for Attorney General. Wow, Democrats. We'll be right back.
This Saturday from 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern, Real America's Voice brings you an exclusive special event. AMAC presents Boot Camp for Patriots.
Give me liberty or give me death.
You're invited to a pivotal gathering of leaders, experts, and patriots coming together at a time when America stands at a crossroads.
But be out there fighting in that realm.
Education and indoctrination, election integrity, and more of the urgent issues that matter most to your family, your community, and your country. More than a conference, it's a call to action. Whether you're a citizen, a community leader, or a grassroots activist, your voice is needed now. Join us as we unite around faith, family, and freedom, and take the fight for America's future to the next level. Don't miss it. AMAC presents Boot Camp for Patriots this Saturday from 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern, only on Real America's Voice.